My colleagues and I deserve better, and this country deserves better. Do your job so that I can do mine. For coming out here to ensure that these tragedies never happen again. My name is Alana Kelly and I'm a junior at Braden River High School. On Monday, February 12th, I was asked to participate in evaluation interviews for my high school. Education professionals from around the state asked us questions about our experience at the school and for our opinions. Our interviewer last asked us if we felt safe on campus, to which we all quickly agreed that we did, citing our incredible educators as why. 2 days later, 17 young souls were lost in Parkland. For a few days, everything became somber. At school, we discussed the events and just how real, how daunting the idea of school shootings had become. It was so close. We knew students involved. It could have been us. I soon realized that I had too soon answered that last interview question. No, I really don't feel safe going to school every day. And I think we can all agree that that's not something we want to hear from the mouths of our students. But it's not because of the administrators or the school resource officer or the absence of a metal detector or the need for wire fencing, and it's certainly not because my teachers are unarmed. In fact, that would only frighten us more. Country is at a standstill. For decades, we've seen the number of mass shootings grow. Yet, despite repetitive pain and suffering, lawmakers continue to send their prayers instead of their action plans. And they pass it off as simply a mental health issue instead of acknowledging common sense gun reform. To those politicians, yes, mental health is an issue. We should work toward less stigmatized mental health counseling and awareness. However, less than 3% of gun violence can be attributed to people with serious mental illness. And the only efforts Trump has put into mental health actually rescinded regulations for making gun purchasing more difficult for the mentally ill. You cannot use mental health as a scapegoat for your own failures. You have failed the students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. You have failed us, and you have failed your own children. Senator Marco Rubio, you have failed your constituents by neglecting administration is trying to tell us that we want to infringe on their Second Amendment rights. But last time I checked, even the Bill of Rights is limited when those rights cause social disruption and havoc. You can still have your toys, and if you're a law-abiding, responsible gun owner, you have nothing to worry about. We do not need any more of these nonsense plans to combat gun violence. We do not need more firearms or TSA-type security checks in our schools. We do not want to be going to jail every day. And if we did, maybe we just collude with the Russian government. It seems like that's the administration's choice path. What we do need is dedicated public servants, politicians who are actually there to fight for their people. We need government-regulated psychological evaluations and comprehensive background checks. We need to outlaw bump stocks and semi-automatic weapons. We need to institute nationwide government buyback programs. We need universal gun licensing, registration, and insurance. And more than anything, we need everyone to turn out to the polls. To my peers, the MSD students and all of us that are rallying around this cause have already sparked a change. I am happy to see that the Florida legislature has raised the legal gun buying age from 18 to 21. But Governor Rick Scott seems to believe that that will appease this fight. We cannot let that be true. For the lives lost in Parkland, Pulse, Las Vegas, Columbine, Sandy Hook, Great Mills, and beyond, we must continue fighting. Change will not occur overnight. It will not occur today, and it may not occur tomorrow, but it is our duty to see to it that if our current representatives fail us, we do not fail ourselves. We are intelligent, we are passionate, and our passions stretch beyond this issue alone. We are not just kids, as the scared politicians like to refer to us. In the coming few years, we will become a great portion of the voting bloc, and we cannot afford to let that go to waste. So I urge you, go out and vote, or pre-register to vote. Pay attention and engage in intelligent, informed conversations with those who oppose your ideas. Progress is not made by avoiding compromise. We are tomorrow's leaders, public servants, congressmen, and presidents, and we are not afraid to take the jobs of those who resist progress. Do not lose this cause. The future is far too important. Thank you. Alright. My name is McKenna White. I'm 18. I'm a senior at Lakewood Ranch High School. Something really important about me is that I love movies. But when I said I wanted to live in a world of Harry Potter, I meant the spells and magic, not a place where an oblivious government refuses to do anything about a deadly threat so that the teenagers have to stand up and fight back. This past week, I participated in the student walkout at my high school. I'll be the first to admit that not all of my peers came to protest. Some came merely to get out of class. That's okay. I will forgive their ignorance and hope that one day they understand that they were a part of a revolution. However, I will not forgive my administration for how they handled it. We were mocked and ridiculed. When I began a chant, I was threatened with suspension. Don't worry, it didn't scare me too much. All phones, cameras, and electronics were confiscated, and we were not allowed to document the event. Our dean told us, "No one wants you to make a big deal out of this. Settle down and stay quiet." Dear school boards all over the country, no. We will not stay quiet. Our schools and our students are bleeding, and we refuse to bleed in silence. For so long, I have been afraid that my voice will never be heard, but my generation are not flowers that you can keep stepping on to prevent them from growing. We are trees that will outgrow you, and you can try to cut us down, but we will give you hell the whole time. With all the conflict as of late, I've had some serious doubts about my nationalism. But after seeing what we have done, and seeing all those who have stood beside us looking out into these people right now, I am so very proud to be an American. But things aren't perfect, and we're asking one simple thing. Stop making it easy to kill us. We are asking for more gun regulations, more mental health programs, and a ban on assault rifles. And speaking from personal experience, I have been incredibly fortunate to have never had to tear down the barrel of a gun. However, one of my best friends, Josh, was there in Vegas when 58 people were murdered by a man with a semi-automatic weapon with bump fire stocks. When the news broke in the morning, his family called him, his boyfriend called him, and then they called me asking if I had heard from him. I hadn't. It was almost 24 hours of silence before someone was able to contact him. His phone had been discarded in the chaos. His friend's leg was hit with a stray bullet, and he was rushed to the hospital with her. He managed to escape with only a bruised wrist. But nonetheless, there I was, sitting outside my third period classroom, hysterically sobbing. Then I called my mom, so scared that I nearly lost my best friend. I never hugged Josh tighter. I am so fortunate to have never lost someone to a mass shooting, but so many have. How many more lives must it take? How many families shattered before something changes? This is a bipartisan issue. Nothing will happen if we don't work together and solve this. We cannot keep calling on our politicians because they aren't answering, so we will do it ourselves. And I want to finish this by warning the world leaders. You better make sure you create change instead of barriers, because I am leading a new generation that will tear them down.
My name is G. Basiloni, and I am a sophomore at Lakewood Ranch High School. I remember getting home from school on Valentine's Day, Wednesday, February 14th. To the students of Stoneman Douglas High, that day may never be known as just Valentine's Day again. An 18-year-old was able to enter the school with an AR-15 and kill 17 people. The majority of those 17 people were kids who were my age, kids who were in my grade, at a school a mere 3 hours and 4 minutes away from mine. I remember walking into my house and seeing the TV on with news coverage of these kids running out of their school with their hands in the air. We saw the footage from inside, we heard the screams in the background, and though we did not witness it firsthand, we felt deeply for the kids of Stoneman Douglas because no kid should ever have to fear something like this happening to them or their school. The fact that he was able to easily purchase that AR-15 and enter a school with it makes my heart drop to my stomach. While walking to my bus with my best friend by my side a few days later, we heard a loud pop. Every single person walking out of our school in that direction flinched, yelled, or jumped. We were all on edge and we watched as administrators rushed over to where it came from. Though it was just someone making the noise as a joke, it demonstrates just how nervous we were to be there. The following Friday, we were not allowed to bring backpacks to school due to threats our county was receiving. And I did not go to school that day, along with many of my friends and fellow classmates. You say that guns don't kill people. People kill people when you know damn well that the only thing guns are designed to do is kill. You want to desperately protect your guns, but what about your kids? I can't seem to put into words the fear I felt for those kids who may never heal from this. I have been told to not live in fear, but after a gun-related incident on a school campus happening for the 18th time this year alone, how could we not when we knew the chances of this being swept under the rug once more were very high? Words cannot express how silent my classes were the next day, knowing that some of my peers lost their distant friends at Stoneman Douglas. I felt numb and the whole atmosphere of my school felt eerie. More doors were locked and we began having randomly selected backpack checks. We have officers on campus that sometimes make appearances with dogs. How much do you believe locking a couple doors will do? If someone is motivated to kill and can access a gun that easily, doesn't that strike fear in you? I know it does for me. How much could raising the age limit to buy a gun do, as if suddenly you turn 21 and don't have the ability to do something as disastrous as what happened to the kids of Stoneman Douglas and more? We decided to participate in the national walkout on March 14th. However, we failed to realize what would happen. The entire courtyard filled with students at 10 a.m. where we were restricted and not even able to leave. Intended to be 17 minutes of silence to honor those 17 lives, we were left surrounded by kids who wanted nothing but to get out of class. Nothing felt more disturbing to me. Sick of listening to everyone around us chatting and socializing, a chant erupted from my friend McKenna. Never again. We must have repeated it at least 30 times until we were at a loss for breath and realized that few were chanting with us. Administrators made comments such as, "Treat it like a fire drill. They should get suspended for this," shooting us dirty looks and confiscating the cameras of a photography class who had nothing to document what we were doing. We were angry, to say the least. Angry that we could not voice our fears, angry that we could not get anyone else to see that this needed to end. I will not let Stoneman Douglas be forgotten or become yet another statistic. I will not let my voice be hidden, ignored, or muted. No kid should ever have to fear being killed in a place where they are promised safety as soon as they step inside. No kid should ever have to wonder what they would do in such a situation. To all of the kids of Stoneman Douglas, to anyone who has ever lost someone to gun violence, to those who don't have the opportunity to share their voice right now, I promise we will not stand down until something is done besides twisting a feeble lock on a door or raising an age limit and calling it a day.
Good morning, Sarasota! I am Megan Chute. I am a junior at Sarasota Military Academy. And I am here today to share... Hello.
Must be the administration report. It's your principal. It's all right, you got it. There's a megaphone behind you. There's a megaphone behind you. Huh? I brought the megaphone just in case and put it in the truck just in case it works. Luckily. I put brand new batteries this morning. Way ahead of the game. Turn the volume up on it. Just turn the volume up. Turn up the volume. Turn the volume up. It's on the handpiece, on the handpiece. Hey, the volume is on there. Yeah. It's a.
Go them out. Go them out.
There you go.
Go them out.
All right, hello everybody.
One, two.
All right, back in business. All right. As I was saying, my name is Megan Chute. I'm a junior at Sarasota Military Academy. And I'm here today to share my experiences with you as a student, as a daughter, and as a girlfriend, as a niece, and as a granddaughter in this day and age. So, it was the morning of February 15th when my friends and I were congregated on our school's pavers, talking and laughing like we normally do. A great way to start the day with a smile on our face. The bugle called and it was time for our morning formation to start. And we got into our platoons and waited for the flag to be hoisted. But then I noticed that the flag was slowly pulled down to half-mast. I heard a few murmurs, and I'm sure they were along the lines of my thoughts. What happened now? Our head of school announced the formation about the tragedy that happened the day before. The shooting at Parkland High School, killing 17 innocent people and greatly affecting the families and loved ones left behind. But I will never forget her words to us, which went somewhere along the lines of, we must be prepared for events like this. And that's when my anger set in. Not towards my head of school, but the fact that in the current moment in time in our country, our students must be prepared for events like this. That we must be prepared for an active shooter to come onto our campus, which once seemed seemingly safe and impenetrable, and possibly take the lives of my friends, my peers, and even mine. It shouldn't even be a thought. But walking up the stairs to my first period class, it was seemingly quiet. That there was something about this recent shooting that hit home to so many students. Our school day was full of talk about how to prepare ourselves for when something like this happens. In the case of an active shooter on campus, and take the steps laid out. And then there's always the kids who want to charge the shooter, act like the James Bond guy, as if this was fun. As if this was now our normal life. That following week, there was an influx in the amount of threats, shootings, and in the school and workplace. And my own school even had a brief investigation where someone threatened on social media to bring a firearm to school that day. And my mother insisted I stayed home. Almost 20 years ago, my parents came over to America from Johannesburg, South Africa, in search of safety, a place to call home, and a safe place to possibly start a family. But prior to these events, my mother's father was shot and killed 16 times. And this was not in battle, but rather in his own front yard. He was shot 16 times, and yet there was never any justice served. And since then, my family and friends left behind have been beaten, shot, and held at gunpoint. And since then, there have been 208 school shootings and 1,030 deaths die from gun violence each year. But this is not in South Africa, my friends. This is in America. My parents came to this country to flee the violence, yet it only followed. So where my parents worry every day about whether I'll be coming home from school that day, and that I can't even pick up friends for a carpool. I guess my question is for all of you today, those of you on my side or the opposing side, is when will student rights children's rights, and human rights be above the rights of a gun. When will we put the needs of our children before the ones of a weapon? The Second Amendment is one of many that make our country so great and unique, and I think I can speak for many when I speak for myself and say that we don't want to take your guns away, America. What we do want is certainty and confidence in our safety, whether it be at school or in the workplace. We want to know that whoever has a gun in their possession is stable enough and knowledgeable enough to handle said weapon. The fact of the matter is that it is more difficult and rigorous to obtain a driver's license in this country than to obtain a gun, and which is absolutely outrageous, and I think it speaks for the problem itself. What this uncertainty is called is blatant terror. A terror has been bred in our own country. But this time we will not stand for the terror. This time we will offer more than just our thoughts and prayers. And when I look out at this crowd of passionate people full of empathy and rigor, I am proud to be an American. And I am proud and glowing with pride when I see us gathered here together today to accomplish a dream and a goal that we envision for our beautiful country. And I know without a doubt that we will make our beautiful country of the free and the brave and the safe and welcoming place I thought I knew great again. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jacob Baran. I'm a 15-year-old sophomore at Suncoast Polytechnical High School. I'm looking forward to what I'll be able to do this spring break, the fun I'll have this summer vacation, and my next year in high school. 17 people will not be alive to see those things. 17 people who were gunned down, murdered, by a 19-year-old with an AR-15. An AR-15, a weapon of war, of death that should not ever have been able to be given to a civilian, and should never have been given to someone who so obviously had hatred. The school had a file on the kid. They had a file saying he was not well. Shouldn't have never. Sorry. A bit nervous. There's no reason anyone, any person here, any person in this city, any person in America would ever need an AR-15. Ago Wednesday, my school, luckily, actually supported us in bringing this out for our school. I walked out, along with thousands others across the country. Sorry. My school student council gave some speeches. One of them told us that it's time that we are the ones who must work to stop this problem. They're right. We have to stand up now. We have politicians who don't understand us, who don't understand what we believe or the ideas that we have. Marco Rubio stood in front of a room and thought that if he said that banning thought that saying that banning semi-automatic weapon, when Marco Rubio was brought in front of the survivors of Marjory Stoneman Douglas, he said that we would have to ban all semi-automatic weapons to get rid of automatic weapons. He thought that was a negative. The room burst into cheers. We have people in office who believe that the money they are given from the NRA means that it's okay for means that everyone else should have a gun and our lives don't matter in their eyes because they are given money. Our congressmen, our representatives, our governor believe that we are simply people who don't have the strength or effort to fight for this. We have to call them. Call your representatives, call your congressmen, call the governor, call our senators, call the president, and tell them that if they do not stand up for gun control, they can be removed from office.
Writer by any means. I'm actually a poet, so I have some spoken word for you guys today. It's going to be a switch. Alright. But before I do that, I want to talk about an organization we have called Students Demand Action. Alright, so, hold up. I have a number for you guys. You're going to text students to 64433. Alright, text this number, you will get information about anything else regarding this topic. It will not be spam mail, this will be for a cause, my friends. This will be for a cause, and it is our cause. It is our cause as students, okay? So, text this number right now, get it going. Alright, I'm going to repeat the number. I heard what number is called 64433. Text students to 64433. Alright, here we go. We got kids holding these up. Someone want to take that? Hell yeah. Alright, so I wrote this last night. Let's see how this goes. An open letter to America. Dear America, you are my most problematic friend. I say this with all due respect. I have lived within you my entire life in America. You are a beautiful home to me. But you are facing a crisis. And your leaders, your politicians have not handled you as they should. Dear America, you have a gun problem disguised as a pride problem, stemming from your entitlement problem. You have a problem. You have men who decide lethal weapons are more important than the lives of their own children. Their own sons and their own daughters and every child in between. The children they kiss on the forehead as they leave for the schools that are being threatened every single day. You have students with military weapons that their parents have gifted them as if it's some kind of gift. You have students who are getting rifles from their parents. You have adults who give rifles to children. You have students who fear coming to school every single day, and people who are not willing to give up immensely dangerous weapons because it stands to be an adrenaline rush for rich white men. Dear America, despite your invasion, you have a gun problem. No matter how I try and frame it, I can try and attest it to pride or shame or both. I can pretend that every time you call a school shooter a troubled white man, that it doesn't hurt all the kids with mental health issues. I can pretend for you, America. I do not want to. Dear America, you have a gun problem and you have no idea how to fix it, but we do. You can start by banning the bump stocks. You can start by running background checks. You can pull the gun sale at the gun shows. You can pull the Armalite military-grade slaughter rifles off the shelves in the sports stores and the Walmarts. You can block the sale of those weapons. You can require mental health verification. You are not 21. Don't own a gun. You are not 25. Save a life. You can do this. When the Sandy Hook shooting occurred, I was in sixth. I can't talk. We're sorry. I was in 6th grade. I was too young to understand exactly what happened, but I did know enough to be petrified in such a regard. My grandmother promised me I would never experience a situation like this ever again. I was 11 years old. The next 6 years only furthered my fear to the point of numbness. According to the New York Times, as of February 14th, there have been 438 casualties since the Sandy Hook shooting only 6 years ago, 138 of which have been fatal. That number has increased since, with follow-up shootings in schools, most recently the other day in Maryland. I'm not trying to take your guns, though.
I shot for the first time that same year as Sandy Hook. My father taught me when we were back in New Hampshire, in a town with less of a population than the march here in Sarasota. Thank you guys for coming out. I'm one of many who feels this entitled to a right to shoot, yet even I can assure you that selling Armalites is an awful, awful idea. I would give up every slightly exhilarating experience, any nostalgia I've had with a gun, to bring back even one child killed at the hands of the shooter in Parkland, or Newtown, or Orlando, or Roseland, or any other town that you can no longer trust because, oh my God, America, you have issues, man. Dear America, our entitlement to an outdated Second Amendment is not worth more than a child's entitlement to live. To a life where a child can feel secure, to a life where a guardian doesn't have to make false promises to their 11-year-old. This is never going to happen again. You can say it, but we need to do it. Dear America, you have a gun problem because your occupants are stubborn and they will never realize how lucky they are to be living in your country. Dear America, you have a gun problem because of innocence and idiocy. Dear America, you mean the world to me, so please fix this. We're trying, but it's so hard when our politician goes dark and our news won't start a revolution. Dear America, I need a revolution for our children. Freshman, she's gonna have to deal with this for 4 more years. I need a resolution for my best friend G. She's gonna do this for 2 more years. I need a revolution for every single kid who's in school today, every single college kid, high school kid, middle school kid. I need a revolution because without it, it's just gonna keep on happening. Thank you.
And I am a freshman at Southeast High School. I am not of age to vote or even to pre-register for voting, but there is nothing holding me back from speaking here today. January 23rd, March 20th, 3 days ago, February 14th. These days account for only 3 of 17 school shootings that have occurred this year in the United States. Not to mention the hundreds of school shootings that have occurred since Columbine in 1999. The weapon of choice used to initiate these school shootings? The AR-15. Bullets from this gun travel approximately 3,200 feet per second. 3,200 feet per second. While the bullet of the average handgun may lodge itself in human skin and make for a nasty wound, the bullet from the AR-15 is so powerful that on impact, it will disintegrate inches of bone, creating holes the size of a tangerine. Keep in mind, this is open to the public for purchase. Perfectly legal, perfectly legal. In Florida, it is easier to buy the AR-15 than a handgun. The buyer only needs to be 18, while those seeking a handgun must be 21. In what world should a mere high schooler, one of my peers, need to purchase a weapon of mass destruction? In what world should anyone need to purchase a weapon of mass destruction? When you purchase a gun that can shoot bullets faster than you can recall your times tables, you are not protecting yourself. You are not equipping yourself with a utility for sport or investing with a fun toy to play with. You are giving yourself the capability to be a murderer, to take countless innocent lives in minutes, lives like the kids from Stoneman Douglas. Emma Gonzalez expressed my thoughts best. Do we not deserve the right to live anymore? Our founding fathers said in the Second Amendment that to ensure the security of the United States, we must keep a well-regulated militia. Well-regulated. It is important that restrictions are put on our freedom to handle weapons, and gun control is necessary. Yet, our representatives are too deaf to hear our concerns, too apathetic to create legislation. They're plastic dolls, blinded by money, puppeteered by the NRA. Their actions, or lack thereof, are shameful to the people of this country. Listen up, politicians. Now is the time for change, and you better believe we'll do everything we can to make change happen. Students and young people, we are at the forefront of this movement, and my friends, we are working very hard. To the participating adults out there, thank you for your dedication to this significant issue, and to a new generation of leaders, the kids. And for those who are not here today, it is never too late to join the revolution. Together, we will write our happily ever after. Together, we will be on the right side of history. Thank you very much.
My name is Alohi Glover. I'm in student council at Southside Elementary School. I am 10 years old in the 4th grade, and I want to tell you why more of our people in the United States of America are dying. There are a plethora of reasons why we need to change gun laws, no matter what the politics say. And if they aren't going to see what is happening, we will be the change that there will be no guns in the USA. Let me ask you a simple question, NRA people. Why are you using your precious money to ensure your guns are protected rather than protecting our children from the danger of these weapons? I really can't look at the television and not cry and see another person dead from these horrible killing weapons. Every parent, child, teenager, grandparent should never be scared for their life at school or other lives at school too. Brave, not brave. Fear has no place in school. Hashtag enough.
My name is Alexandra Levensky, and I'm a graduate of Southeast High School. I currently go to State College of Florida, which is an open campus. That's a danger already. I shouldn't have to fear going to class any time of the day, but yet I do. My parents immigrated from Russia. Why in Russia do they have better gun control than America? Are we not better? We're not. They came for the American dream, but was the American dream for them to fear their children going to school every day? No. In Russia, their vote doesn't matter. And here, in America, our vote matters. So let's vote. Let's vote for better, not bitter. Better gun control. Vote now. We've had enough.
Hi, my name is Allie Partee, and I'm a senior at Sarasota High School. And in the fall, I'm attending the University of Central Florida with a degree in political science. So hopefully I can be a lawmaker for you guys someday. Alright, so I'm getting really tired. This isn't because of the 5 college-level classes that I take at school, or because of my consistent participation on my school's debate team, but because I'm tired of our president, our legislators, and my school system not doing anything to legitimately protect me from being a victim of gun violence in this country. On March 9th, a little over 3 weeks after the Parkland shooting, at 8:14 a.m., the fire alarm went off at my school. This was 2 minutes before our bell was supposed to ring for the transition from first to second period. My teacher looked at us and told us that we had to go, despite the hesitation that was stricken all over our faces, and that she wanted to walk out first in front of all of her students just in case. As I reluctantly left the classroom and went down the stairs and out of the building, my heart was racing, and I speed walked all the way to the back fence of the school's bus loop to be as far away from the crowd as I possibly could. Once I got there, I sat down in the grass and I thought to myself, I wasn't scared of the fire. In fact, I never even thought of the concept of there actually being a fire until that moment where I had sat down. Once I heard this was a real fire, I was actually relieved. And that's not how it should be, because the fire felt like nothing in comparison to thinking that I was about to be in the next school shooting. Every single day, I have become alarmed of loud noises at my school, and I am revolted when I hear students joking about which teachers we should arm so that they can quote-unquote save us all. But this is pathetic. I have 2 younger sisters. One is in high school and the other is going to be in middle school next year. And I'm terrified that they will feel the same exact way that I do in school, because our government is so concerned about wealth and not about the students' lives. But that's why I'm so proud to be speaking today with all of these amazing people, because it gives me hope that one day my children won't have to be 17 years old at a rally just like this one trying to protest gun violence so that they don't have to worry about being killed in their own school. This isn't okay. It's not okay for children to be worried about being killed in their own school. It's not okay for partygoers to be worried about being killed in a nightclub. It's not okay for concertgoers to be scared of going to concerts. It's not okay for churchgoers to be scared of going to church. It's not okay for people to be worried about running in their own backyard in California. It's not okay for any single person to be worried about becoming the next news story or the next possible gun statistic about gun violence in this country. It's not okay. To end, I've been pre-registered to vote since the day I turned 16 years old. And in May, I'm going to be turning 18, which means that I will be eligible to vote in the election in November for our next representatives and senators. So to any politician out there whose name might be on the ballot in November, I can promise you that you will not have my vote if you accept any funding from the NRA. So if you want to be elected, do not accept funding from the NRA. Thank you.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so glad. sleeping. And the rockets burn. The walls bursting in air. Get through the light. That our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner o'er the land of and the home of the brave.
Good afternoon. My name is Arya Samedi. I am 13 years old. I attend Booker Middle School, and I know I'm going to be a pediatric surgeon and/or a model. As we all know about the recent school shooting, I would like to take another moment of silence in remembrance of the people who lost their lives. We all gather here to make a movement hopefully big enough to get the president to know how we feel. Which leads me to the same question I ask myself over and over. Where is the change? The youth here and more is supposed to be the next generation, but every time I hear death, the flame inside me dies down, but encourages me to be better than I was yesterday. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for gathering here today to make your voice be heard. My name is Anastasia Samedi. I am 13 and I attend Booker Middle School. I am here to speak on behalf of a problem around the world, but not only around the world, here in Sarasota, Florida. We should improve school security by adding metal detectors and having more security on our school campuses. We should also have solutions to improve our security. During the shooting, many lost their lives. Personally, I believe that people are targeting the president in a way that needs to be changed. We should lift our voices and make what's wrong right. We should make petitions and have them sent out to our president or to his cabinet. We should pray for the lost ones. But we should also have our voices be heard now that the next generation, my generation, does not have to suffer. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your time today, but that are actually
Okay, can you guys hear me? Hello, my name is Bear Mancini, and I am an 8th grader at Pineview School. When I woke up on Valentine's Day, I was excited. I had big plans that day. Even though by middle school, most kids had stopped giving out Valentine's Day cards to literally anyone, I was going to do it anyway. I had cards and candy for each and every one of my friends, boys and girls alike, with a silver necklace for a special friend. My biggest fear that day was wondering if she would like it. But by that night, Valentine's Day had forever become the day of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas school shooting, and I had begun a new education in fear. Fear as I walk around my school campus, realizing its fence is not secure. Fear as I listen and watch my school board scramble to scrape together $25 million in emergency school security upgrades. Fear as I watch the second graders in my school conduct active shooter drills, talking about where they should hide when the shooter comes for them. Fear has no place in our schools. We do not need our parents and adult leaders to tell us it's okay or you are safe, because we are not okay and we are not safe. Our adults have empowered those who hate and have failed to protect all those they love. But how do we fight fear and hate? We fight them with courage and love. Love, the only protection that can possibly work against the lure of power. Professor Albus Dumbledore. Because like the characters in our beloved Harry Potter books, we teens are rising up, standing together, and acting to protect our schools and ourselves. We cannot be bought. And will not be broken. Because these are our lives we are fighting for. And fear and hate have no place in our schools. Thank you.
Hello, can everyone hear me? Alright, my name is Alea Knowlton. I'm a student at Booker Middle School in 8th grade. Months or weeks from now, tomorrow, I may be written off as just another kid or just another student who went up to speak. But I know that all of my students beside me and peers are not just kids, and we still have dreams, we still have a voice. Yes! I personally know my fair share of what this country is laid on, the laws and basic rights that individuals here have. In the Second Amendment, it says we should have guns so that we have a regulated militia. This militia should not be unregulated and able to buy military-grade weapons that can kill people in a single shot. And I also know that in the Declaration of Independence, it was said that all people deserve the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life is a basic human right. And I also also know that I have dreams. I have dreams to become an artist, and I have dreams to go to Ringling and major in motion design. And I know I am not the only one who has dreams. Everyone I know, every student, every peer I know has dreams to succeed in life. And I know that the victims of the Parkland shooting all had dreams. All 17 of them. All 17 of these victims' lives were taken away from them. These innocent children's lives were stripped from them by a 19-year-old who easily got an AR-15, a weapon that is less regulated than a driver's license. It is horrible that we let this happen, that our legislators and that our state, our country, let this happen. Let's take a moment of silence for all of the victims of all of the shootings made possible by this system and this basic exploitation of our basic law. On the day of the walkout of schools all across the nation, at our school, we were allowed to walk out, although many teachers held their students back in their classrooms and refused to let them leave. Over the announcements, our student council did a great thing, great meeting, spreading awareness, showing people what had happened that day. They shared the names of the 17 victims, and they shared their stories. These children had dreams, and these children's dreams are forever lost. Because our legislators and because our country let this happen, I know that the majority of people living in this country want this to stop, but it's being our voices, all of our many millions of voices have been muffled by the media and the legislators for people we have elected. We need to elect people better. We can make a change. It has been an honor to be up here, and just remember that we need to make a change and that we have the power. We the people have the power.
Okay, hello. My name is Andriana. My hands are shaking, my heart is pounding. I feel like I'm going to throw up from the nerves, and that is because I have never spoken in front of this many people before. In fact, I haven't really spoken much at all before. Most of my life has been spent sitting in the shadows, waiting for someone else to speak up first. It was only recently that I realized that my voice does matter. I had never really had a political opinion before. I guess I didn't care enough about what was going on in the world, except I did care. I just didn't do anything about it. I didn't do my research. I didn't do enough to know what was happening. I guess I felt that my small, young voice wouldn't accomplish anything big enough to really make a difference or to really matter.
Bullshit!
Thank you. I think a lot of people feel the same way though. What difference does it make if I stand up? What difference does it make if I speak up? Think of it like this. Someone's out going around asking for signatures on a petition. You agree with what the petition stands for, but when they ask for you to sign, you don't. Maybe you're late for work, or you're a bit stressed out, or you don't like signing things, or you thought the person asking for signatures was weird or creepy, so you didn't want to talk to them. You don't sign, and you move on with your life. The deadline for the petition passes, and it was all for nothing, because it was one signature short. Because your signature mattered, but because of whatever was happening in your unaffected life, you didn't sign. You didn't speak up. What if... We are the ones who make it right.
live a day by day, and it seems that life don't love them all. We're a part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make it right. So let's start giving. And the choice we're making is saving our lives. It's to make a brighter day with you and me. And this way home. Yes, you got someone next beside you. You hold their hand and raise it in the sky. Hey, and listen, our unity is what's going to help us get over. We're going to get through because we're going to unite behind these children and their ideas and their individuality, and we're going to support them. We are the world. Come on, y'all, let me sing. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's that choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. To make a brighter day, just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's that choice we're making. One more good hand, man. Bless you all. You know what it is. We're going to have a good time today. You know what it is.
Jessie Sinich, and I'm going to help. There's going to be a series of speakers, like 15 short talks from our youth. So I'm going to just introduce everyone, but I'm going to start us off. Okay, I'm going to start us off with a speech, and then we're going to go into a few other speeches by our youth right here in Sarasota. So my name is Jessie Sinich, and I'm a student at New College of Florida, and I graduated from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas in June of 2016. And to begin this march, I just want to take a moment of silence to honor I just want to honor the 17 lives that were lost on February 14th, 2018. So I'm just going to call off the names and then we can take a moment of silence. So Alyssa Al-Hadef, who was 14, Scott Beagle, who was 35, Martin Duque, who was 14, Nicholas DeWart, who was 17, Aaron Feiss, who was 37, Jamie Guttenberg, who was 14, Chris Hickson, who was 49, Luke Hoyer, who was 15, Kara Lochran, who was 14, Gina Montalto, who was 14, Joaquin Oliver, who was 17, Elena Petty, who was 14, Meadow Pollock, who was 18, Helena Ramsey, who was 17, Alex Schachter, who was 14, Carmen Shentrop, who was 16, and Peter Wayne, who was 15. And I would like to take a brief moment of silence. Thank you all so much. And I just wanted to take a moment to share with you all some of my personal heroes from this tragedy. First, to my sister, Brittany Sinich, or Miss Sinich, who began teaching English in a literature of drama class this year at Stoneman Douglas. She graduated from Stoneman Douglas and now she got a teaching job there. And she was in the exact building where the massacre happened, and she directed her students to crawl under her desk. She hugged them and tried to keep them calm as a boy with an AR-15 was just inches away from her front door. Brittany, you're my hero. You are stronger and more resilient and more fearless than I will ever be, and I love you. Second, to Ivy Seamus, or Miss Seamus, who was my favorite teacher in high school. She helped me and a friend start a feminist club at the school. She let us hold meetings in her room for a year, and one time she got mad at me when we left her room without saying thank you. And it was that day when I learned never to leave somewhere without saying thank you. And for that, I became a better person. Miss Seamus helped spearhead a Holocaust education program at our school. One time when we were at an event to eat breakfast with Holocaust survivors that she helped organize, I remember telling her that Publix throws away a lot of food, and I knew this because at the time I worked at Publix, and her response was a challenge. She challenged me and told me to be the activist that I say I am and try to get that food donated. Miss Seamus is an incredible woman. And on February 14th, the classroom where she would teach us about animal rights and the travesties of the Holocaust would become a boy with an AR-15 battleground. A boy who carried ammunition magazines plastered with swastikas. A boy who openly hated Jewish people. But if I have learned anything from Miss Seamus, it is that teaching and talking about horrible things can prevent horrible things from happening again. That's why I wasn't very surprised when the students and activists of Marjory Stoneman Douglas began using a phrase that has historically been used to talk about the Holocaust. Never again. And that's why we're here. This is why we are all here. To rally, to march, to scream, and to mobilize so this never happens again. And thirdly, to my friend Robert Chentra, who lost his wonderful and brilliant sister Carmen. Robert, I am so sorry for your loss. Thank you all again for coming out here on a Saturday morning to rally to try and put an end to gun violence. Although I have a personal connection to this event, I have to admit that I do not personally know all of the solutions to end gun violence. Gun violence permeates society in different forms and in different ways. It creeps into communities of color by police, or sometimes people use guns as a way to steal things or to threaten people, or sometimes it lands in an elementary school or a high school. And I do not know all of the solutions to all of these major issues. But what I do know, and what I think the majority of people here would agree with, is that one solution to part of this problem is to ensure that the politicians that we elect have not been given a penny by the National Rifle Association. To elevate the voices of all people affected by gun violence, to elect politicians that are inclusive and that listen to not an interest group, but to the people that laws actually affect. What I do think is the solution to this problem is to have a working political system in place that does not allow any person with a history of violence to have access to guns. What I do think is the solution to this problem is to ban the distribution of assault weapons that have no functional purpose. I do not know all the answers, but what I do know is that in 2018, 21 people in the United States have been shot dead on school grounds, and we are only in March. What I do know is that work needs to be done. And what I can see here, in not just Sarasota, but from all over the country, is that this work is being done. Not by politicians, but by us, the people. Thank you.
My name is Sarah White. I'm a student at Pineview School, and this is something that's very important to my heart, and so I have a few words. I have grown up in a post-Columbine world. I have never lived in a world without excessive gun violence. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like. But at this rate, I'll never know.
because every time that a mass shooting happens, we say thoughts and prayers and we do nothing. Words are worthless where action is required. The first shootings I can actually remember were Aurora and Sandy Hook. The year was 2012. I was 11. I vaguely remember Aurora. It was the middle of summer and I remember it was all over the news. Sandy Hook was right near the holidays and we talked about it in school. I remember feeling devastated because these kids were younger than me, first graders. I knew something was wrong, but Connecticut and Colorado were far away, and I wasn't even a teenager yet. I was 12 when Aaron Alexis killed 12 people at the Washington Navy Yard, 14 when Dylan Roof killed 9 African-American worshipers in hopes to start a race war, 14 when the same number of people died in San Bernardino. It was around this time when I came to terms with the fact that we have a problem. But it was all still too far away. I didn't feel like it could affect me. I was 15, and 49 people died at the Pulse nightclub in 2016. And this one was real. Because Orlando is so close. Less than a 3-hour drive. I had known for a while at this point that we needed to do something because this was happening too often. This one felt real. I was 16 when Vegas and Sutherland Springs happened and those felt real. I am now just over a month shy of my 17th birthday and the same number of people were killed at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Those kids were my age. Parkland is just 3 hours southeast. This was close. Here are some questions to consider. Is your right to bear arms more important than my right to privacy, my right to safety, my right to life? To my fellow Americans, I implore you, please use your vote to protect my future. Vote for people who believe in common sense gun control and will actually do something about it. Representatives, I beg you, please enact these policies because I am tired of living my life in fear. Vote for these common sense, practical laws or get voted out. This is not politics anymore. This is life or death. Our blood is on your hands. Please do something. We don't need automatic weapons that can kill multiple people in a minute. We don't need weapons of war. I live every day in fear that my school will be next, that my friends, my peers, my teachers, I will be next. I do not want to be one of the 96 people that die every day from gun violence. I do not want to be one of 58, one of 49, one of 38, one of 26, one of 17, one of too many. I refuse to be a statistic. I am more than just a number on paper. I am Sarah White. I am 16 years old. I am a junior in high school. I want to be a psychiatrist. I'm going to go to college and medical school and who knows where else, and I'm going to help people. I don't want to die.
Good morning. My name is Alma Dosberg and I'm a student at Booker Middle School. Every time there's a mass shooting, a point of violence, you promise us never again, that you will make us safe. This will not happen to us. But it has happened to many. And who are we to believe so naively that bad things, cruel things, cannot touch us? Columbine, Sandy Hook, Parkland, just to name a few. You say we are only kids, that we don't understand, yet we understand we're the future. We understand what has been handed down to us. We understand we won't be able to reverse global warming. We understand we cannot bring back extinct animals. But can we retrieve people's humanity and change their moral integrity? Trust me, we understand our fear walking into school, our anger and despair when 17 lives of fellow students and teachers were lost at the ring of a bullet. But you don't change. We as a nation hide behind mental health, further marginalizing and blaming those who are just like every other student, trying to learn. You say it's people, not guns, that kill people. Then how do you explain giving people such easy access to weapons of war? If you can explain this logic, maybe I can listen. Listen to the adults at school telling us not to walk out, but to sit and be silent. Listen to the politicians who sit on their seats of deceit and pretend it is not just a green dollar that coaxes them. Students, do not fear threats, for they cannot touch you. We are the students of this nation, the change. Because we won't just stand here and give our condolences. We'll fight. We'll change the gun laws that killed 17 at Parkland and the hundreds at Las Vegas, Orlando, and Columbine. We don't have much on this earth we can save, but we can save each other. We will take each other's hands to push forward, cry upon each other's shoulders, but most importantly, we will believe. Because I believe in the good of man and the virtue of nature. I believe we, as a nation, founded on revolutionary change and hope, are done praying for those in danger. I am done praying and pretending I can reverse time by saying sorry. I am ready for action and real conversation. So I leave you with this question. There is a world of struggling people who need to see the light at the end of a long, long tunnel. And there is a world of greed and comfort that has never seen the dark. How do we finally see each other? Thank you. Hello, fellow marchers. I'd like to start off by saying that it makes me incredibly happy to see so many people here standing in unity to say enough is enough. My name is Lauren Bell, and I'm a senior at Riverview High School. On February 14th, a gunman entered Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High and took 17 innocent lives. 3 days later, a group of students, including myself, were planning a walkout for our school. And 1 month later, we walked out of class. We paid our respects to the victims of the shooting. We registered and pre-registered students to vote, and we gave speeches. To say get out and vote. How else can we create change in our city, our state, or even our country if we don't show up and vote? And we can't just do it once every 4 years. Voting only in the presidential elections is not enough. as important. They affect our lives more directly on a day-to-day basis. In 2016, voter turnout for the presidential election was 61%. That means that 100 million people in this country did not vote. And in Florida's 2014 primary election, voter turnout was 18%. Over 12 million people in this state did not vote. This must change. Theater has been in my life for many years, and one thing I've learned is that theater people show up. They have to, or there will be consequences and repercussions. I shared this with my fellow classmates on March 14th, and now I share this with all of you. Show up. Show up to the polls and vote so that we don't have to deal with the consequences and repercussions of a government that does not represent us. When people don't vote, we're left with the product of inadequate politicians in office and harmful laws in place. But we have the power to change this country into one we're proud of, into one where our youth don't have to go to school in fear of their lives because they're wondering if their school will be next. Nothing will change if we don't show up to the polls. Take your future and the future of your children into your own hands. Show up. Vote. And before I hand the mic off to the next student, I'd just like to make an announcement. The students at my school, those who organized our walkout, have created an organization called Students Stand Up, and we're planning a rally on April 15th from 1 to 3 o'clock. You can follow our updates from our Twitter, which is Students Stand 17, and our Facebook page, Students Stand Up. Join the leaders of the walkouts from all schools in a community-wide event to stand in solidarity with the Parkland victims and incite political change within our school systems and community.
Alright, so I'm obviously not another student. Oh, there we go. Okay. My name is Mackenzie Altman, and I am a teacher at Booker High School. On April 20th, 1999, Columbine High School became a victim of a mass shooting. This was the first mass shooting on a school that I remember. I was 7. In the 19 years since, 187,000 students have had to experience a mass shooting on their campus. These students range from kindergartners to college students. Over 187,000 students in 19 years have begged and pleaded for their government to do something. 187,000 students have asked for them to be the last victims of a school shooting. Their government has not responded. As a teacher, I cannot fathom this. But I have to be honest, I no longer assume that I will escape my career without having to go through this ordeal.
I no longer assume that I will not have to hide my students in closets. I no longer assume that I will stop having to check their names on survivor lists or that I will have to barter for their lives with mine. Angela Davis said, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change, so I am changing the things I cannot accept. Pundits and talking heads on the news channels admonish and discourage the teenagers who are taking a stand, who are sharing their opinions, and who are raising their voice. I have heard politicians offer up thoughts and prayers to the victims of these shootings. And I don't know about you, but I am sick of actionless words. I do not need your thoughts and prayers, and I do not need your feckless action. So, to the students who are here today, I beg you, make some noise. Stand, kick, yell, scream, protest, march, take up space, create tension, because intention is where change happens. And I promise you, they will hear you. And if they don't, if the power of your words and your action does not drive them to change, the power of your vote will. And to the politicians who are listening, I encourage you to take heed of the movement that is happening. Listen to what this generation demands, because we are not going anywhere. We demand action, and if you